So just yesterday, another gruesome genocidal attack by Fulani terrorists took place in Benue Abande village in Turan in Kwanje local government area of Benue State. The government in Nigeria cannot cease to amaze us, because these things happen every day, these genocidal killings. But they are rather concentrating their energies in image laundering. As we speak, there are a lot of government officials right here in Washington, D.C., starting from the First Lady of Nigeria to a lot of some state governors, some, senior government officials, moving from offices to offices, trying to denounce what's happening. But as they move from those offices, we're also going to the same offices and meeting the same people and letting know the truth of what's happening and revealing the pictures, the videos, the data of everything that's happening every day. Genocide is ongoing in Nigeria. And it's so fortunate that maybe because we've come to sort of live with it, and so a lot of people thought that it is normal. It is not normal. Yes, they thought that it's normal. That's why, like, for instance, in Abande village right now in Kwara local government, more than 20 people were killed. But the governor of Benue State won't visit that place. The president won't visit. In nowhere in the world, no country in the world, will up to 20 people be killed that the president of the country won't visit the place. Not in America, not in Russia, not in the UK, not in China. That 20 people, 20 citizens will be killed. You see, but it happened in my village, for instance, Yerota, and they didn't go there. The president didn't go, the governor didn't go until when the chief of army staff was coming, the chief of defense staff. Now it has happened in Abande village in Benue State, in Turan, that's in Kwande local government. More than 20 people were just killed in their own ancestral land on their market day. Just yesterday by Fulani terrorists. And we're behaving as if everything is normal. It's not normal. It's not normal. Terrorism is going on a genocidal scale. They are killing Christians on a genocidal scale. The biggest ever genocide recorded in this world in modern times. It's happening, unfortunately, in Nigeria, most especially in the Middle Belt. From Benue to Plateau to Taraba to Nasarawa to Niger, Kwara, So we're not going to stop, and we must have solutions to this. And these guys brought up a certain strategy that when you talk about genocide, they begin to go against you. Like I've been reading in recent times where one so-called organization called the Sharia Council were like calling for the resignation of the chairman of the INEC because he wrote about genocide. Yes, genocide, and what you are doing is just a strategy. Which of course, that's part of your life. You like adopting strategies to deflect from the reality of what's happening. So, genocide is happening daily in Nigeria, and it needs to stop. And I'll really call on the Tinubu government to bring to account the likes of, let's call the likes of Sultan of Sokoto, the likes of El-Rufai, the likes of that General Gambazau, the likes of Sheikh Gumi, an established enabler. The likes of Hamid Ali, when Hamid Ali was in charge of customs, and he seized, custom recovered over thousands of automatic weapons that were imported from Turkey. Where are those weapons? Who did they give these weapons to? So the likes of Hamid Ali, all these Fulani guys, they need to answer to this. They're just killing innocent Christians, and we're saying that they will succeed because they've been killing, but they could say that for the years they've been killing, they've never really succeeded. Just imagine if we stand up and we begin to react. So they can't win. It's not possible. We are breeding a new generation of resistance army. They can't win. It's not going to be possible. So let President Tinubu stand up and bring these guys to account. It's not all about coming and going all over Washington, D.C., going from offices to offices. Actions speak louder than words. Act. People need to go back to their ancestral land and settle in peace. And then the sponsors of these terrorists need to be arrested and prosecuted. Let them account for their crimes. That is what we're saying. Let them account. So we need accountability and resettlement of our people back in their ancestral lands. Accountability. When this begin to happen, we will be the people spearheading the media team of the president to tell the world what the president is doing. You know? But for that, they are doing nothing rather than image laundering. So we can't continue like this. As they move from offices to offices here in Washington and begin to launder their image or begin to want to twist and change the narrative, we'll also go to those offices. We are here too. We've been going to those offices, meeting the same people with raw data, raw videos, raw pictures, evidence. You know? So, all this needs to stop. That's the truth. That's the least we're calling for. So it amazes me that the least of what we're calling is peace, resentment. And people are still looking at it as a long thing, as a big thing. You know? But that's the truth of what's happening. We ain't gonna stop. We seriously won't stop. You know, until peace is achieved and our people are resettled and the sponsors of this genocide are apprehended and brought to book.
Welcome everybody. Wazobia Elite, welcome. It's 4:43. Okay, it's 4 something in your okay. Well, it will keep talking. That's the only thing. Even if it doesn't, so there's a I don't know how. I think their protests. I don't know how, if the protest is still going on. No, I don't know. But apparently, this is a crowd of people that was going to Abuja for the Occupy National Assembly. So in Kugbo, Asokoro. They've been using gunshots and tear gas, but they refuse to retreat, as I heard. This is what I'm reading. So according to the video, the last video I shared, right? So Tinubu's government Tinubu has been sending top officials, including Remi Tinubu. She's in Washington, D.C. They are going from as I gathered, the what's it called? The GO of Redeemed Church. His wife too is in Washington. They've been denying the genocide against Christians. They've been going office to office, okay? So they, in turn, have also mobilized people, Nigerians that remain in Washington, D.C. after the last rally we did. If you guys remember, December 1st. I think it was December 1st, yeah. So they've been also going back to those same offices to go tell the truth with pictures, videos, and everything they have to let them know that there's an active genocide going on in Nigeria. Okay? So, all hands have to be on deck. Don't just sit on the sidelines, please. You guys.
God bless you all, dearly beloved brothers and sisters in Christ. Àwọn Yorùbá máa ń wí pé ó mà ṣe o, ó mà ṣe o, ó mà ṣe o. Pé nǹkan búburú ṣẹlẹ̀ báyìí. Nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ báyìí gangan ní Kwara. Where are all those big Yoruba Islamic clerics? Where are they? Where are they? Ṣé gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Kwara, ṣé ẹ ní data ni? Ẹ ní data. Àbẹ́ ẹ gbọ́ pé wọ́n ń pààyàn, wọ́n ń pa àwọn mùsùlùmí ní Kwara. Ẹ gbọ́ pé wọ́n ń pa mùsùlùmí bí ẹni ń pẹran ní Kwara. Ẹ gbọ́? Ẹ ní data àbí? Ẹ ní data. Ó mà ṣe o. Ó mà ṣe o. Ó mà ṣe o. That you can't come out and speak for your people. You can't come out and speak for your people that are being slaughtered like meat. I wish I can finish the whole of this video conversation using Yoruba language. Ó mà ṣe o. ẹni ṣòro lè tá ayé rò pé ó ń ṣe kà ọlọ́run ló mọ̀ ẹ̀dá tó ṣe kà táyé rò pé ó ń ṣeré olúwa lóye ni wọ́n sọ pé ọ̀run mà ló lẹ́ni tó là ṣe bọ́lọ́run ló mọ̀ ohun tẹ́nìkan ò lè mọ̀ tó pamọ́ ọlọ́run ló mọ̀ ohun tẹ́nìkan ò lè mọ̀ tó pamọ́. ṣe rere lọ́hùn ọlọ́run ọba mi òkè ọlọ́run ló mọ̀ ohun tẹ́nìkan ò lè mọ̀ tó pamọ́. Yoruba people, Islamic clerics, I give una hand o. You are the real definition of betrayer. Betrayer. See how you betrayed your people. None of you came out to give your voice. None of you came out to say anything. None of you came out to say anything. Fear! Can you now see that it is not about tribe or religion? It is about saying the truth. Saying the truth. I could have just removed my eyes and say, after all, I'm a Christian. Wetin concern me? People wey dem kill for Kwara no be Muslim, no be their fellow people, they kill them. No, it's not about tribe or race or religion. It's about saying the truth, speaking the truth where it is necessary. Scripture says, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Go to social media and see the people giving out their voice for this incident that happened in Kwara. They are Christians, like Apostle Michael Olowokere. They are Christians. I wish I can finish this video in Yoruba. Why? Because maybe some of them are not hearing English, so that they can understand what I'm trying to say in Yoruba language. Pardon my Yoruba language, please. Now where I hear and reach be that. And pardon this song, please. Saheed Osupa Ejo, ẹ má bínú ẹ̀gbọ́n. I just wanted to communicate some senses into these people. Kai! This is where you will know that your Yoruba Islamic clerics, they are not genuine Muslim preachers. They are political. They are political. That is why they are quiet. They are political. If they are genuine preachers, they will come out and condemn this evil. But they are political, and that is why they are quiet. Oh my sheo. See how they sold their people. The way the siblings of Joseph sold him. Huh? Ìgbà wo ni Nigeria wá di báyìí o. Ah? Ah? Oh my sheo.
To do with this information is left to them. They can either accept it, apply it, get result, or they can carry it and put it in their pocket. That is their business. But it is within my mandate to speak the truth to power, to expose people, bring the light of God to the mind of the nation. There are 5 stages to Islamization in Nigeria. Either in Nigeria or all over the world, there are 5 stages of Islamization. Number 1 is movement. Now this movement is divided into 2, either by migration or by invasion. So they come to and they migrate to a new settlement, and in the process of the migration, when they come there, they look so peaceful. They're not violent. When they migrate to a new society, that is why you say, these people are loving, these people are kind, these people are peaceful. They migrate. And that's why you find that is happening in the whole of Europe today. They are moving at an accelerated rate, migrating. The second part of that movement, or the second way it can happen, is through invasion. Meaning that they come, conquer the people, fight them, destroy them, and take over their territory. This is what we saw when the Fulanis invaded by Usman Fodio, when they invaded the Hausa in the north. I hope you know, they are indigenous Hausa people. The Gobils. Is it the power or something like that? They are indigenous Hausa people. They were conquered by that Fodio. So that is by invasion. They called the invade. So they invaded the north, conquered the north, and they took over the north. But they are not what they are doing in other parts of Nigeria is by migration. What you see that is happening in Europe today is by migration. So they'll go there, settle down there. But at that time, they look so peaceful. You look at them and say, these people are loving and kind. But there's an agenda. The second stage is population. And the first stage, they are not much so, they look so peaceful. The second stage is to ensure that they become about 40 to 50% of the population of the nation. So they begin to multiply. Give birth to 5 children, 7 children, have as many as 5 wives, 4 wives. You think it's by play? No. It's an agenda to ensure that they're the most populous in that place. That's what today you hear to say, the north is very populous. Parents give birth to children they cannot get for. But there's an agenda just to ensure that they're the most populous. Are you ready? So at that stage, the next stage, once they've been able to settle, the next thing they begin to do is to ensure that they're the majority, so they begin to increase in population. Reproducing and reproducing. Bringing in their colleagues, bringing in their family from different to ensure that they overwhelm that place with number. To ensure that they have about 40-50% of population in that place. That's the stage. So 20 years ago, 30 years ago, if you go to the UK, you find very little Muslims. Very little. So 20-25 years ago, if you go to the UK, you'll find very little mosques. But today, there are thousands of mosques in Europe. In UK, in Canada, there are thousands of them. So when they come, they ask for peaceful in stage 1. But in stage 2, the moment they know they begin to get number, then that's where the agenda begins to go into place. So the second stage is that they multiply. The way that has happened, then they move to the third stage. What is the third stage? The third stage is to position themselves in power, in government, in the military. Strategic positions, strategic places. Are you with me? That's why if you go to Abuja now, and you go to federal government parastatals, you see almost everywhere, madams everywhere. Madams everywhere. Position themselves in the military. Overweight the military in number. The Northerners are the most in the military today. Both army, air force, police, whatever it is, they are more in number. So they position themselves in strategic position in government. They begin to get power. That was how they did it in Turkey. They begin to get power. That was how they did it in Lebanon. But there's an agenda. And I pity UK. I pity Europe. Because when their agenda is fully materialized, what is happening in Nigeria will be transferred to them there. Today you have cities and colonies and cities in Europe that are governed by Muslims, by Arabs. You think they're trying to be liberal. The Europe is playing political correctness, but they have no idea what they're doing. So stage 3 is that they position themselves in key places in government. Key places in government. Go to any federal government parastatal in Nigeria, I'll show you. You find them all. In military, they're there. Civil servants, they're there. Are you with me? That's stage 3. Then when they know that they have succeeded in stage 3, then they move to stage 4. Stage 4 is the most dangerous. And what is stage 4? Implementation of Sharia. Stage 4 happened in Nigeria in the year 2000. 1999-2000, that was when stage 4 happened in Nigeria. Where Sharia was implemented in Nigeria. In 12 northern states in Nigeria. 12. Every time I remember that, it breaks my heart. And I begin to ask myself, what were the father of faith in Nigeria looking at? What were they looking? What were the Christian leaders looking? When people were implementing Sharia. Knowing fully well that the laws of Sharia permit somebody to kill another person that speaks against their God. It permits them to kill, to destroy somebody's property that is not in alignment with the principle of Sharia. Knowing that the principle of Sharia brings extremism. This is what brings terrorism today. So every time I remember, I ask myself, how did this happen in Nigeria? That 12 states in Nigeria is practicing Sharia. What were the Christian leaders looking at that period? But you know, just like it was in the days of Turkey. The Christian leaders were busy building tabernacles. 20,000 capacity. 100,000 capacity. They were planning themselves in how big the capacity is, how big the cathedrals are. And these guys were strategically positioned themselves. The Christian leaders were busy raising big cathedrals. They were positioning themselves in this office. The Islamic, they must position themselves. The jihadists, they position themselves in government. And when that happens, they implemented Sharia. Today, all the big cathedrals have been brought to mosque. In those nations. Stage 4 is the most dangerous. The moment you have allowed them to succeed in implementing Sharia, there's no way stage 5 will not succeed. I'm giving you stages, I'm very high stage. I speak by the Spirit, I'm not speaking carelessly. For the Lord is it that worketh in able to win and to talk his good pleasure. That which I speak is by the Spirit. And they institute Sharia. No even that the principles of Sharia bring extremism, the teachings of Sharia bring extremism in people. What we are saying today is as a result of the implementation of stage 4, which is that happened in the year 1999-2001, when 12 states, starting with Zamfara State, implemented Sharia by the governor. In fact, the governor, forgetting his name, the governor said it is designed that the whole of Nigeria practice Sharia. And we say we are secular states. So they started with 12 states. How did they allow 12 states of Nigeria to be practicing a law that gives another person the right to kill another person in the name of blasphemy? How did they allow that? What were the Christian leaders looking at that period? Of course, I was a boy at that age, in the early 2000s. What were the fathers of faith looking at? What was God looking at? Today, many people have been killed in the north simply because of Sharia. They say, you speak against their God, they behead you. They behead somebody, they bust them on someone alive. So the Jacksons have been sentenced to life in prison, and many of them have been killed in the name of blasphemy. At the moment, why do I need to be careful to speak? I just speak against your God. Can't your God come and fight for himself? But they allow such a law in Nigeria. A law that permits somebody to stone to kill another person. Stage 4 is the most dangerous. Implementation of Sharia. Today, you see in the UK, people are running away from their nation to go and seek asylum. Today, they're shouting in the UK, Sharia for UK. We want Sharia in the UK. Sharia in the UK. And I tell you, if the UK permits that, even if it is one state that legalizes Sharia, that institute Sharia, they're finished. When the war, let them continue to play political correctness. But when the war starts, they will regret permitting it. Now they are permitting themselves. Today, you see mayors and councillors and all those people in the UK that are Muslims. You think it's not? There's an agenda. They are waiting. The moment they know that they have gained majority of the powers in the state, they begin to implement laws that is contrary to the indigenous, that is contrary to the original laws of the people. Stage 4. And when stage 4 has been achieved, that there is the implementation of Sharia, then the next stage is jihad. The moment Sharia is succeeded, what we are seeing today is jihad. All the chaos, overwhelm the nation with so much chaos. So that the people will be bowed, they'll be forced to bow and accept what of it. Jihad. Everything you are seeing today is jihad. Oh my God. If you know how many lives have been lost in this cause. That's why I'll keep saying it. Sharia must be abolished in Nigeria. We're a secular nation, not an Islamic nation. We're a secular nation, not a what? Not an Islamic nation. We cannot be a nation, we're a secular nation. And some people are carrying a law that permit them to cause chaos. Sharia must be abolished. If Nigeria wants to remain peaceful, if Nigeria wants to get an outcome of peace again, everything that permits extremism, everything that has facilitated extremism must be abolished. Then they go for jihad. In that jihad, it's either you accept or you be killed. What you see in communities in church, Benue, Kaduna, Nasarawa, part of Taraba, part of Kobe, part of Podose, it's jihad. And now they have entered Kwara State, jihad. From there they move for Shu. From there, the moment they conquer the southwest, they begin to move from southwest to north and be converted to ensure that southeast, because southeast will be the most difficult for them to conquer. So they begin to come from this and come from that to ensure that they overwhelm the people at the center. That must not happen in Nigeria. Jihad. These 5 stages, everywhere you go over the world, these are the 5 stages of Islamization. I'm sharing with you what today. Whatever you like, you do with this information is entirely your own business. But you'll be very foolish to discard what I just said. Save it, keep it in your phone everywhere, you're watching it. You'll be foolish to discard this information. You'll be foolish to discard this information. Like I said, I don't have anything against Muslims. Practice your religion, my practice mine. If I have a mandate to preach to you, if I preach to you, you don't accept, go. There is no forcing in the kingdom of God. But for you to say you want to Islamize, you want to turn Nigeria to a Sharia state, that will never work. It will never work.
So the people that were unalived in Kwara State was because they rejected Islam, their own version of Islam. Okay? This is the panic. Look at the panic that's going on in Kayawa community as suspected terrorists stormed their cattle market days after 170 people were unalived. See them. What's the unusual phenomenon? Sky phenomenon.
As three sun-like objects appeared simultaneously, forming a circular pattern in the sky. The incident, which occurred on the early hours of February 4th of this year, quickly attracted public attention and sparked widespread curiosity.
What has happened on the Jos Plateau is not only the sun halo that is the problem, but having so many sectional rains within January. On 9 January, it rains. On 10 January, it rains in Panshin. The last week, Saturday, it rains around ITF. Those phenomena led to this. But what brought about that?
Anyway, it's not skyline we're talking about right now. So here is the bits and pieces from the protest.
The way of citizens who are doing nothing other than fighting for every one of us, so that your child, I see the policeman in the car. Yes, you're looking at me. But guess what? When you go home today and your son or your daughter says to you, why did you stop those who are fighting for us? Sir, what will you say to your child? Your allegiance. And I heard someone say that they were given command. The only command you have is that of the Constitution. Your allegiance is to Nigeria and Nigerians and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I want to remind every one of you that when terrorists come after you and they kill you, we stand and we make demands. I've seen a lot of men of the force blocking the way of citizens.
So, I'm sure you guys have seen the pictures already, but hey, here it is. I wish somebody would come out with a real video of what happened. We haven't seen that yet. Okay?
Our party has not been registered. The All Democratic Alliance, it has not been registered. But
somebody is laughing in the background.
We have gone to court on this issue. So I will not want to discuss the facts of the matter because it is in court. However, I would like to state that out of the 171, on the 15th of September 2025, INEC shortlisted 14. And INEC said, if you look at the press release made by INEC at that time, he said that of the 171, INEC scrutinized them on the basis of the provision of the Constitution, the Electoral Act, and the guidelines of INEC. And INEC then said that 14 of them, including All Democratic Alliance, have met the requirements of the law and therefore will go to the next stage. And the next stage is to pay money, 2 million naira, administrative fees, and then go into the real application inside the INEC portal, which 8 political associations were able to pay the 2 million naira out of the 14 shortlisted, including the ADA, and then we went and applied. And the next thing INEC said was that she was going to come to our offices and verify assess, the facts that we have submitted, our documents, to see physically the officers that we have across all the states of the Federation, and they also see physically our office, the working of our office, how ready we are. And on the 8th of December, INEC was in our offices, and we brought in all the executive across all the country, and INEC, assess it. And at the end of the day, INEC said that we did not meet, the provision of the Constitution, the Electoral Act, and the guidelines, which on 14th of September is said we met. So we kept it. We said, okay, no problem, INEC. We now went to court. Now, then yesterday, INEC announced that she had registered 2 political parties, as you just said. I think the Democratic Leadership Alliance and then the National Democratic Congress. Now, I have no problem with the registration of the Democratic Leadership Alliance, because the Democratic Leadership Alliance, we were together with them in INEC Consultative Office when they shortlisted the 14 of us. She participated in all the processes from the 14, the 8, and so she participated. Democratic Leadership Alliance participated. The problem we have is that of National Democratic Congress, the NDA, which INEC said that she was registered it on the basis of court order. Now, how can INEC agree that there is a court order that gave them the power, that compelled them to go and register this political party, when that political association did not participate in the process? It did not apply to participate. It was not shortlisted, in the 14. It was not shortlisted in the 8. It was absent completely in the entire process. Yet, out of the blue, as if it is conjured by a magician, like conjuring rabbits, they now said that there is a court order and INEC is bound to comply. Certainly, INEC must comply with the court order no matter how the court order is given. But what did the NDA submit to the court? And if NDA submitted something, they must have served INEC. INEC must have gone to Lokoja to go and defend that matter. So it is ridiculous, as far as we are concerned, as far as I'm concerned, that they said they registered it on the basis of a court order.
Members, dear leaders of the coalition, this my message today might sound very harsh, but the truth has to be said at all times. I owe my loyalty to my country. I owe my loyalty to Nigeria first, before any individual or any party. Nigeria is sinking right before our eyes. Everybody can see it. In fact, that is the reason why you guys had to drop your different parties and come together under one umbrella to form a coalition against this current government. We are at a point in time in our country whereby we need effective, serious, purposeful-driven opposition. There is no reason why Bola Tinubu's government is even in the conversation for re-election in the first place. The single reason why they are in the conversation is because you guys in the opposition have been an epic failure. You have failed in the duties of an opposition. You guys have allowed opposition become you not true to the Nigerian citizens. The citizens that are bearing the brunt of this bad governance. The citizens that are every day waking up to see what they can put, how they can afford to put food on their tables, how they can pay their bills. Citizens that have been pushed to the wall that every single day is all about survival. You want them to still play your roles for you guys. You guys are politicians. It is your job to put pressure on the ruling party. You guys have failed woefully. And somebody would have expected that you guys came out of the coalition, you guys would be sensible enough to start doing the work you guys have failed to do for the past 2 to 3 years. Instead, all of you guys are all focused on grabbing tickets. You're all focused on grabbing being a ticket bearer for a party that is already being rigged out of an elections. Then when I make tweets or posts, you people also make tweets and posts. You want to be president. You want to get into office. But the work that you have to do to get into office, you're not willing to do it. You're not abdicating your job to me, a Nigerian, that I'm struggling to put food on my table. I should do your job for you. The moment you people make one tweet, Atiku make tweet, Peter make tweet, it is okay. You people feel like your tweets have addressed the situation. That's why Bola Tinubu is chilling. That's why he's happy. That's why he has not had any pressure. An opposition party that in 3 years of being in opposition, you have not staged one protest in the country. Is a failed opposition party. One protest against all the policies, all the maladministration, the corruption, everything going on in this country. You guys have not staged one protest. One. I want to talk with this government. I'm just here to say my own truth. And let it be on record that when people were misbehaving, that some of us really spoke up privately and in public. If Nigerians are feeling they should come out and protest. This was the opposition in 2015. Buhari and co staging protests. Then Tinubu and co staged another protests. You can't even mobilize the civil societies. Nigerians are abjectly suffering today. Nigerians are hungry. Nigerians are passing through pain. Nigerians are like sheep without a shepherd. How many of you people, if all of you come together and say, let us go and hit the street, and Nigerians are behind people, who is Bola Tinubu that you want to shoot any of you? What kind of fear? I want to understand the fear that's in people's head. I want to really understand that fear. Like, all of you come out, Tinubu will kill all of you. This is insanity. Honestly, at this point, I'm beginning to honestly think that you guys actually control the position. That you guys are actually working for Tinubu. Oh, just make tweets and make it be saying Nigerians the talk, I don't talk. The elections people are fighting for a ticket to be candidate, the flag bearer of the party, it's already being rigged before they came. Tinubu has appointed his INEC chairman. Tinubu has already created his own rigging machine. You're seeing evidently he's buying all the elites. In your presence, we have 30 governors in APC. When they ask people, say, now the people they vote. The people that cannot trust people, that do not believe in people, and people are not strong enough to fight for them. And the people you want to fight for you. Politics is a symbiotic relationship. It is not a parasitic relationship. And what we are getting from you guys is a parasitic relationship. Everything's on the citizens. What are you people doing? Presenting yourself is not enough. Presenting yourself for office is not enough. There's a whole lot of work you guys as politicians need to be doing. In your very before, you guys saw what happened in 2023, how elections were rigged for people. Someone would have expected that the opposition would have been championing electoral reforms. So citizens should champion electoral reforms. Citizens should vote. Citizens should protect their votes. Citizens should install people as kings. What did you do? What have you done? You guys have been an absolute shame and disappointment to me as a person and to millions of Nigerians that look up to you guys. And if nobody's going to tell you this truth, it has to be said. Look, for me, if you people cannot come out and tell Nigerians, tell civil societies, we're going to occupy the National Assembly until that Pabio and his Senate do the right thing. If people cannot do this simple job, none of you deserve to be in Asoro 2027. You don't deserve it. And this is me speaking without any emotions attached. I don't want to hear anything. He's an Igbo man, he's a Fulani man, he's a this. If you people cannot come together and champion a cause that will drag out Nigerians in their millions and occupy the National Assembly until the Senate do the right thing, because free and fair elections is our enviable right as citizens, you people do not deserve to be in power in 2027. Because so far so good, all you guys have been good at is at making posts like Gen Zs.
Who have been killed in a village. Why is this not trending? Over 170 people.
I don't know what happened there. Hold on.
And 70 people have been killed in a village in Kwara state of Nigeria because they refused the Sharia law. They've been killed by Islamic radicals. The report states that the jihadis invaded this community through a border with Niger state and demanded that all villagers must embrace the Sharia law. And when they refused, they rounded them up, tied them, placed them on the floor, shot them, executed them so gruesomely. Survivors of this jihadist attack reported that the Islamic terrorists even took a break to pray. They took a break to pray while they were trying to execute people. They took a break to pray and then they continued to the gruesome killing of innocent people. And I've said this before, if you have to kill for your God, you don't have a God. That God should be worshipping you. How does it even make sense that an offshoot of your religiosity and of your spiritual devotion to your God is to seek other people to kill? And what's even more gutting is the fact that local media is saying absolutely nothing. Is it that the media houses in Nigeria are useless? Because there is no place in the world that 170 people will be killed, that there wouldn't be a buzz, a serious buzz in that nation and even globally. And the buzz cannot start if the local media is saying nothing. When the tragedy happened in Bondi Beach in Australia, we heard about it. When the fire at a Swiss club happened, we heard about it because the local media are doing their work. Is it that the local media in Nigeria are compromised, have been bought over by political actors that don't want to take initiative and accountability for the fact that they are not protecting the lives of vulnerable Nigerians? 170 people cannot die in a country and people just move on with their lives like they are cows, like the deceased are animals. Even in the Western world, 170 animals slaughtered will definitely call for a national emergency. And if you are a Muslim watching this video, the best thing you can do is to condemn, and I mean publicly condemn, the violent killings of Islamic radicals.
Let's begin what's trending with the controversy that has erupted. At the National Assembly, after opposition senators accused Senate President Godswill Akpabio of misrepresenting the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2026 that was passed on Tuesday, the senators led by Senator Eyinaya Abaribe held a press briefing on Wednesday claiming that the version of the bill announced as passed did not reflect what was actually approved during plenary.
To put the records straight, yesterday, the Senate did not I repeat, did not pass transfer of results, which was in the 2022 Act. What we passed, and which the Senate President himself, when he was doing a clarification sitting on his chair, is transmission of results. Transmit, not transfer. What is in 2022 is transfer, and we don't want a law that is vague. We don't want a law that will be misinterpreted by anybody. We want a law that is clear, concise, and can be interpreted by all, and that is unambiguous. So it is electronic transmission of results. Yes, thank you.
All right, clearly spelled out. Transmission, not transfer. Well, on Wednesday, Senate President Godswill Akpabio tried to clarify the Senate's decision, saying that the Senate did not reject electronic transmission of results, but retained its provisions in the current Electoral Act. Let's take a look.
But the social media already is awash with the fact that the Senate has rejected electronic transmission. That is not true. That is not true. Electronic transmission had always been in our Act. And what we did was to retain the electronic transmission, which had been in our Act, and which was used in 2022. Let me just mention the fact that there was no deliberate attempt on the part of the Nigerian Senate to delay the amendment of the Electoral Act. Our intention had always been to ensure that we do our best, and we do it painstakingly.
All right. What Nigerians are asking is not to retain the Electoral Act 2022, but to amend it to make electronic transmission of results mandatory. We want results to be uploaded in real time onto the IRF portal from polling units. Currently, Section 63 of the Electoral Act does not mandate the electronic transmission of results. It gives INEC the discretion to determine the method of transfer of results. Nigerians want that section amended. Now, take Peter Obi's post. In a lengthy tweet he wrote in part, the Senate's blatant rejection of mandatory electronic transmission of results is an unforgivable act of electoral manipulation ahead of 2027. This failure to pass a clear safeguard is nothing short of a deliberate assault on Nigeria's democracy. By rejecting these essential transparency measures, they are eroding the very foundation of credible elections. The turmoil, disputes, and manipulations that plagued past elections, especially the 2023 general election, stemmed directly from the refusal to fully implement electronic transmission. Nigerians were fed excuses of a fabricated glitch that never existed, while numerous African nations adopt electronic transmission to bolster democracy. Nigeria, the supposed giant of Africa, shamelessly lags behind, dragging the continent backwards. By rejecting mandatory electronic transmission, a critical safeguard for electoral integrity, we are entrenching disorder aimed at perpetuating confusion according to the whims of a small clique. Have we not reached a point where we must think seriously about the future of our country and our children? When the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, aware of our history, labeled us fantastically corrupt, we reacted defensively. When President Donald Trump declared us a now disgraced nation, we were incensed. Yet, with every act of resistance against transparency and reform, we continue to affirm their claims. Those responsible will later point fingers at others for harming the country while they quietly suffocate its potential. Let there be no illusion. The criminality witnessed in 2023 will not be tolerated in 2027. Nigerians everywhere must start getting ready to rise up, resist, and reject the backward trajectory, legitimately and decisively reclaim our country from the clutches of deliberate malevolence. I mean, that was a detailed tweet. Again, electronic transmission of results is critical to preventing the kind of collation center manipulation that has plagued Nigerian elections. The fact that opposition senators from PDP, LP, and even one APC member are united on this issue shows how fundamental this provision is. Nigerians deserve a credible election.
Okay, let me quickly read something for you guys. So apparently, Remi Tinubu met with President Trump at the prayer breakfast. Abi, not being that they call her. So somebody responded. I think there's a video going around. I haven't really listened to it, of what Donald Trump said about Remi Tinubu. He said, Donald Trump, I'm right. This so Occupy Nigeria responding to Trump. He said, I'm writing regarding your public remarks praising Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Remi Tinubu. Diplomatic courtesy is understood. However, when the President of the United States offers public commendation, it reasonably signals that a basic level of due diligence has been applied, especially when the individuals involved occupy positions of significant public trust. Public records and credible investigative reporting have long discussed the United States civil forfeiture matter from the early 90s involving her husband. Nigeria's current president, Bola Tinubu. In that matter, Mr. Tinubu agreed to forfeit approximately $460,000 to the U.S. government in connection with the federal narcotic investigation centered in Chicago. This was a civil forfeiture settlement, not a criminal conviction, but it remains part of the public record and has been the subject of recent court-ordered review of federal agency files. At the same time, the U.S. has taken a far more aggressive and transparent posture towards other foreign leaders facing narcotics-related allegations. For example, the Department of Justice publicly unsealed indictments against Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro on charges including narco terrorism and drug trafficking, announced substantial rewards for information leading to his arrest, and has repeatedly emphasized the seriousness of these allegations in official statements. This contrast raises legitimate concerns. When one foreign leader is publicly pursued, indicted, and denounced by the U.S., others are over alleged narcotics activities, while another foreign first family with documented U.S. forfeiture proceedings receives public praise without qualification. The appearance is one of inconsistency. Accordingly, I respectfully ask, what vetting was conducted before your public remarks praising Senator Tinubu? Whether the documented U.S. forfeiture proceedings involving her husband were reviewed, and how the administration reconciles its approach in this case with its approach towards other leaders such as President Maduro, where narcotics allegations have been treated as disqualifying and pursued openly. This letter is not an attempt to litigate Nigerians' internal politics, nor to assert criminal guilt where courts have not done so. It is a request for clarity and consistency. Public praise from the President of the U.S. should not appear to function as reputation laundering, particularly where unresolved questions and United States legal records remain part of the public domain. At a minimum, a clarification that your remarks were diplomatic in nature rather than a character endorsement informed by a review of public records would help preserve confidence in the standards applied by the office you hold. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I don't know. I haven't seen that video where Trump was praising her. I mean, I've seen it, but I haven't watched it. Okay? Because I saw where that, what's it called? That lady, is it Dabiri? She was singing, Mama be this, so whatever, right?
You cannot blame the governors either. The governors do not control the federal budget like you. You control the federal budget. You decide economic policy. And at your expense, it's trillions of federal budget annually. The minimum is 10 trillion naira every single year, annual budget. You control that, not the governors. So calling meetings with 36 state governors to help you, and having your chief propagandist, Bayo Nanuga, your propagandist in chief, give false hopes to Nigerians by announcing and a useless communique with empty plans. Those promises he made is not a plan. Those promises, those governors cannot be relied upon. As we speak, they are messing up their state economies and worsening the hunger emanating from you, Mr. President, in Abuja. They're making it worse at the state level. A leopard cannot change its spots overnight. It doesn't happen that way. You cannot, Mr. President, even blame the ordinary Nigerians, because they are the only ones left to blame. You blame everybody else for giving you the once in a lifetime chance to serve as president of Nigeria. You can't blame them. They've given us very, very specific examples of suffering. I have personally been asked to use my broadcast to convey to you Aqua Speaks. That's the name of my podcast. By Nigerians. Some from Abuja, some from different states in the country. This is a direct message I'm going to give to you, Mr. President. It's not too much big English. Very direct message. One, price of cement within 3 weeks has gone up in Abuja. From the average price, depending on the type of cement, from 5,000 naira to 15,000 within a month, within 1 month. 2, the price of fuel is expected to top 1,000 naira per liter. I'm going to give you a quote about this later on. 3, a crate of eggs now costs 3,500 naira. Do I need to go on? How many Nigerians do you think can afford even some of the things I mentioned? Many Nigerians, Mr. President, including your own supporters, speak about your stewardship, about your service today as president in very negative terms. They don't like you, and they don't like you for federal government. Your own supporters, even your own supporters, are experiencing buyer's remorse. They are regretting that what did we buy? When they open the package at home, they can't believe it. Many of them regret in voting in your government in the first place. They believe you have bowed. You have bowed down to the dictates of IMF, International Monetary Fund, and World Bank, who have ruined the economies of so many countries because you want to borrow money from them. You want to borrow billions of dollars using Nigerian money as collateral from them. But that money will be filtered away if it's given to you by Nigerian federal legislators, by the corrupt state governors. Those people cannot wait. And your own executive branch, your ministers, they can not wait to get their dirty hands on these borrowed dollars. They didn't even need to borrow this money. Some of your ministers, you've suspended some of them for corruption already. Nigerians are putting the blame for their predicaments squarely on your shoulders. Squarely on your shoulders, Mr. President. Some of your opponents have not even forgotten the problems they had with you last year. They are still blaming INEC. They are still blaming Yakubu Mahmoud till today for the alleged non-transparency of presidential election result release process. That result brought you to office last May. But there's hunger in the land, so they've remembered it either way. You must be held to account for this toxic atmosphere created out of whole cloth by you. This atmosphere persists in Nigeria today. This situation of hunger in the land did not need to happen in a country that produces 2.5 million barrels of oil every single day. 2.5 million. The price of oil will vary between 70 to 100 and something dollars every single day. Let me not waste so much of your time. Let me just give you a quote. And let me give you the thinking of ordinary Nigerians about the present economic situation in the country. All these people coming to you, these big governors flying in with private jets, they're not going to tell you this. But I'll tell you this for free, Mr. President, for free. Quote, yes, few persons or a cabal was milking the country through the subsidy scam. But the subsidization of fuel helped the populace a lot. In those days, people were still able to buy fuel at less than 200 naira a liter. But now, fuel is 680 naira per liter. And this week, Business Day, newspaper reported that landing cost per liter has risen to 1,000 naira. So very soon, we will start buying fuel at over 1,000 naira. Let me ask you this question, Mr. President. How many Nigerians do you think can afford this? Cost of fuel, Mr. President, I'll tell you for free. I'm not an expert economist, but cost of fuel affects virtually everything in Nigeria, especially food, which is what is bringing the hunger, which is the topic of our podcast today, hunger. The above sentiments I just read out to you, I made sure I look for something neutral, reflects the thinking of many, many Nigerians. Outside the gritty senators and members of the federal house who bow to you, visit you in Azoro regularly, in long abadas, to pay homage. They will not tell you that. I just tell you for free. I'll let you steal from the above, Mr. President. That quote was from a non-partisan family, whose family, like others, are suffering because of you. Because of you, Mr. President. No one else. You. That is all we have for today. But remember, to look out for the next broadcast, which will go into much more detail about this hunger. It will examine President Tinubu's lame proposals, the word that Bayo Nanoga read out, to reduce the price of food. We are going to go dig deep into it. And we're also going to look at the plans by the weak Nigerian Labour Congress to go on strike. They want to go on strike 27th, I believe, 28th of February. Because of the high cost of living. They've announced a strike, NLC. But will they really strike as promised? Will these Labour Lords strike? Will they be compromised at the last minute or scared off by threat of Nigerian security agents when you threaten to send out your DSS and soldiers? Like in the past. Will they back away at the last minute? They seem to back away in recent years. They've never been able to stage a sustained strike. This we will delve into next time. Nigerians have no one else to protect them. I am Ofiong Kwara. Thanks for listening. And I have to say, I have to give a huge thank you and kudos for
my Nigerian friend very all right, so I tell my Nigerian friend very casually, like I'm commenting on the weather, man, Nigeria is kind of ass. And he doesn't get mad, he doesn't argue, he just laughs, quiet, knowing, the kind of laugh that says, yeah, we know. Because it's hard to defend a country where the president looks like he was smuggled into office at 3 a.m. wrapped in a blanket whispering, is it my turn? A man so ancient the microphone has to check him. He's not giving speeches, he's licking the mic, trying to remember why he's there. And the citizens? Online, they're coughing respectfully. Sir, please, sir. Offline, they're begging tourists like, boss, anything for the boys? It's a full ecosystem of survival. I'm like, why don't y'all protest? He's like, we did. They turned the internet off. Oh, of course, dictator starter pack. I swear if Nigeria ever stops electing relics, the country might accidentally become elite. But until then, it's run like a family business where the oldest person automatically gets CEO even if they don't know what Wi-Fi is. That's not hate, that's observation.
No lies. No lies. Kwara massacre. The soldiers came 10 hours after terrorists had killed scores. That's what the village head is saying. Okay? I shared on my post on YouTube the list of the phone numbers of the Senate and House committee members on the electoral bill harmonization. Okay? So if you want to call, you can go ahead and do that.
10th Assembly, National Assembly, 10th one. You guys have finished democracy. You guys have demolished democracy. But why? What will you tell your people in the village?
I beg.
What will you tell your
This is not a serious. They ask why. And even they smile. How can you be demanding for answers and you are smiling? I beg, I mean.
And speak up. We cannot, as Nigerians, I think that it is time that we all come out and speak up. We cannot continue in a country such as Nigeria where what the people need, what the people request for is different from what their representative want. Now we be the people. And if you look at what is happening right now as far as Nigeria is concerned, a lot of Nigerians over the time have been clamoring for electronic transmission of results. Real time. That means from your polling unit as you they vote, that they impute the result. If they come straight to INEC server. So that issues when we they get normally that once you vote between the polling center to the collation center, they don't change result, all of that will be cut off. That means those when truly win election, those are the people that will be announced. And right now, what is happening in the Senate is totally different from what Nigerians want. Like I said, you cannot justify to us as Nigerians that 360 House of Rep members sat down, agreed on an electronic transmission of results, agreed, because these people are closer to their constituent. Do not forget, across board for Senate, 3 persons represent each state. Abuja 1. But as far as House of Rep concerned, these people get constituents. They are close to the people. These are the people that know Nigerians. They have come to say this is what Nigerians want. Then the Senate is saying no. In their wisdom, 109 persons, I think it is high time that Nigerians speak up. Justice, what do you think?
See, it's either the Senate do what the people want or will boycott this election.
So,
let's Kukuma know that APC should continue. It's either they continue or they give us the reform we want. And we are using this opportunity to call Nigerians, everybody, if you're a creator, even if you have 1 follower, you need to let in your voice, because this is our future these people are playing with. We either speak now or we'll forever keep quiet. They've already tried their best or currently trying to make Nigeria a one-party state. We will not allow them to make our lawmakers, to silence our lawmakers, because you could see some of the lawmakers now speaking out that what they passed is not what they presented to Nigerians. They passed electronic transmission, real time, and the Senate President is presenting to us transfer, which is not what we want, because anything can be transferred. You could transfer the paper from point A to point B.
That's transfer.
You cannot use English to
confuse us.
We want electronic transmission
real time. From that polling is going straight to the INEC server.
So we are calling all political parties in Nigeria. You either speak now or you forever keep quiet. You people need to boycott the next election 2027. Tell INEC to remove your name if the Senate will not pass that reform that we really want.
Let it just be that it's only APC.
It's only APC.
The pilot.
Let's know that they should continue. We are ready to allow them to continue, but not under Nigerian watch. Will we sit down like this and watch them spit on our face? No. Because this is an insult.
It's an insult
to more than 250 million
Nigerians.
This is an insult.
It is an insult.
Please, we want to boycott the 2027 election unless they reform the...
And everybody should speak up. Like he said, you have 1 follower, you have 10 followers. It is time for us to speak up. Tag your senators, tag your House of Rep members, tag your governors, tag the president, tag the Senate president. They must do the right thing.
And this is not
enough is enough.
This is not a threat. If the senators refuse to do the right thing, we will all initiate the process of recalling them back. We will let them know that we know the process of recalling senators. From A to Z, all of them will be recalled. And when they are recalled, they might be forced to impeach the president.
Yes.
This is not, we know the constitution, not all Nigerians are that. Not all of us, we are not on social media to shake bomb bomb. I'm now using this opportunity to also tell the bloggers, this is not time to post bomb bomb.
No.
Because if
this is about our lives.
If bad leader enter, they might off the internet one day. They might shut down the social media and you have nothing to post. We all speak now or
remain silent.
So we are also joining Peter and every other person who has the interest of this country to also call for occupy the national
occupy National Assembly.
We have to occupy National Assembly.
Oh my goodness, my people. Hey, now here I go leave am for now. This is where I'm going to leave it for you guys. This is what I have so far. But as the day progresses now, we'll see. We'll gather more of the events that occurred in Abuja. Hopefully somebody was able to do a full video of it and we'll see the outcome. Thank you all so much for joining me this morning. I'll see you guys on my next one. Bye.